Originally, No Country for Old Men was going to be right at the top of this list, but before I was about to start writing this video, Criterion announced their 4K release. So all I'm saying is that I clearly willed it into existence, and you're all welcome.
Space Jam DVD, 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 Space Jam...
4K Blu-ray is a phenomenal physical media medium. It's honestly kind of crazy that we have access to all these classic movies in such mind-blowing high quality in our homes. All I'm saying is that we've come a long way since VHS. Yet, despite the fact that 4K discs have been around for almost a decade at this point, there are still plenty of films that have never made the jump to the format. There are a number of reasons as to why some films haven't been given the 4K Blu-ray treatment yet. Some films don't have proper transfers that are worthy of a 4K disc. Sometimes there are issues with securing the rights to produce 4K disc of films. But more often than not, studios and distributors just can't be bothered to actually go through the effort of putting a film out on 4K Blu-ray. It's a shame because there are some damn good films out there that have not been given the 4K Blu-ray treatment, and I want to talk about them. In this video, I want to run through 10 films that I love that still don't have 4K Blu-rays, that really do deserve them. These movies aren't ranked or anything, I just picked out 10 movies that I was shocked to learn didn't have 4K treatments. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Here are 10 movies that we need on 4K Blu-ray. Memento. How has Memento not been given a 4K release yet? It's a goddamn Christopher Nolan movie. Granted, it is one of his lesser known films alongside Insomnia and Following, both of which also still don't have 4K Blu-rays, but come on, really? I don't really know if I would consider Memento an underrated film. I just think that it gets overlooked compared to the much bigger films Nolan has made since. The premise is intriguing, the non-linear presentation of the story is unique and effective, and everybody in it gives A-grade performances. While I was researching for this video, I actually found an old article saying that Memento had been picked up by some company for distribution in the UK, and that it was going to receive a 4K Blu-ray at an unconfirmed date. But that was in 2022, so I don't think that project managed to stay on schedule. I really think that Criterion might pick this one up someday. I mean, why not? It's an obvious choice. It was shot on film, so you could definitely pull a 4K worthy image out of this movie, and I'm sure it would look stunning. You even get a nice mix of black and white and colored sequences that would really pop with some HDR enhancement. It's a Nolan film that isn't on 4K. Enough said. Man on Fire. I understand why Man on Fire isn't on 4K. Sure, it's a Tony Scott action film, but it's not a film that comes up in conversation very often. It underperformed at the box office, and it received mixed reviews from critics upon its release, but since then it has garnered a reputation for being a criminally underrated action thriller. Yes, it can be a mean-spirited film at times, but there is so much energy here both behind and in front of the camera that you can't help but marvel at Scott and Washington firing on all cylinders. Personally, I think Man on Fire is a kick-ass action film with an emotional story that really ties the whole thing together. Sure, Denzel does some messed up stuff in this movie, but he has a good reason for doing so. At this point, the Blu-ray release of the film is ancient and begging for an updated 4K release, so this one is really a no-brainer. Put some respect on Man on Fire's name, man. Critics were way off the mark with this one, and I need it on 4K. Magnolia. It is shocking to discover that most of Paul Thomas Anderson's filmography is not on 4K Blu-ray. No Boogie Nights, no There Will Be Blood, no Inherent Vice, but perhaps the most heartbreaking omission here for me is Magnolia. I probably could have picked any PTA film for this spot on the list, but I picked Magnolia because it's my personal favourite. Magnolia is such a beautiful film. It's a 3-hour-long exploration of family trauma and the little experiences that bind total strangers together, and it's also a beautifully shot and acted film. I mean, Tom Cruise's performance in this film alone makes it worthy of a 4K Blu-ray treatment.
Respect the cock.
Moulin Rouge. You could look at any single frame from Moulin Rouge and instantly understand why it deserves a 4K Blu-ray. The color, Moulin Rouge still stands out in my mind as one of the most visually exciting and invigorating films that I have ever seen, yet it is still stranded on a terribly aged Blu-ray. A little bit of HDR would do wonders for this film. I can already see it now, the fireworks, the deep warm red and gold, Nicole Kidman in her prime. Have I sold you on this yet? There isn't a massive selection of musicals on 4K right now, so adding one as great as this film would certainly not hurt. Animal Kingdom. I had to at least have a couple of Australian films on this list. Yes, Moulin Rouge is an Australian film if you didn't already know, and so is my next pick, Animal Kingdom. I'm talking about the original movie here too, not the American TV show. Animal Kingdom is probably my favourite Australian film of all time. It might just have the greatest lineup of Aussie actors in a single film, it hits really close to home, and it's just a damn good crime thriller above all else. To be perfectly honest here, I'm not certain that there is much to improve here considering that the standard Blu-ray is actually a really great release, but I just really love this film, so I would love to have it on 4K. I know I'm biased, but I don't care. I want it. So, quick side note, while I was doing some research for this video, I found a Reddit thread with people who love the TV show shitting on the original movie, and it made me really mad. Treasure Planet. Okay, listen, I know I'm basically yelling into the void when I say I want a 4K Blu-ray for Disney's Treasure Planet, but this is my list, and if I want to chuck a few Hail Marys in here, then I have every right to. There is a very simple reason as to why Treasure Planet has not gotten the 4K treatment. It's because it's a project that Disney would very much rather forget. Hell, I'm surprised that it's even on Blu-ray considering that this film was Disney's biggest embarrassment for a long time, which is a shame because it's one of the best movies they have ever released. Treasure Planet was animated with a hybrid animation style combining hand-drawn 2D animation and 3D CGI elements that blend together seamlessly. A proper 4K treatment would really draw out the finer details this film has to offer, and it would make me very happy. But I think Disney has pretty much finished re-releasing their older animated films on 4K. Disney is never going to give me this. Why did I even bother putting it on this list? The Iron Giant. Okay, Treasure Planet, I understand, but the Iron Giant, unlike Treasure Planet, Iron Giant isn't an underrated animated film. It's one of the most recognized and celebrated animated films of all time, so why isn't it on 4K? Warner Brothers consistently gives their films, both new and old, great 4K releases, so it surprises me that this one has been overlooked. Sure, we have the Blu-ray, but a 4K release? Now that would be something. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Look, I had to throw a foreign film in here, okay? I have to at least pretend that I don't just watch Marvel movies. That being said, Portrait of a Lady on Fire has more in common with a painting than a film. There are so many shots in this film that I could print and frame on my wall. It looks that good. This is a film that is already begging to be pressed onto a 4K Blu-ray disc based on the visual composition alone, but if you also take into account the fact that this film was shot in 8K, then quite frankly, the fact that I can't buy this film on 4K should count as a criminal act. I'm offended that this film is trapped on a standard Blu-ray disc that uses a 4K scan of the film. Like, seriously, get that shit onto a 4K disc immediately. The 4K scan is already there, just put the file on a disc. The Wolverine. The Wolverine is a great superhero film that was largely forgotten after it was completely shown up by Logan, but it still remains as a solid exploration of the character when he isn't facing a world-ending threat. Yet despite pretty much every other X-Men film having gotten a 4K release, the Wolverine has just been ignored. And now that Disney owns it, I don't think we have any chance of getting this one on 4K, as much as I would love to see it. Regardless, for the sake of completion, we should really just have this film on 4K Blu-ray. It would also create a perfect opportunity to give the out-of-print and superior Unleashed Extended Edition a re-release. And, you know, Origins doesn't have a 4K Blu-ray either, so why not make it a 2-pack? Okay, maybe I should start being careful about what I wish for. Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, Volumes 1 and 2. Okay, I know this one is kind of cheating, but if Tarantino treats Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 as a single film, then damn it, I can as well. Tarantino still has a selection of films that haven't made their way onto 4K yet, but I think Kill Bill is the most glaring omission. Kill Bill is simply iconic, what else do I have to say? I would love to see a 4K release of the whole bloody affair, give us the whole 4-hour story with the Crazy 88 fight in full color. Now that's something I would love to see. I feel like Kill Bill has been in desperate need of a facelift on home media for some time now, so why not go all out with a brand new 4K master? I should have something more interesting to end on with this one, but come on, we all want this. I don't have to convince any of you.
Because it's so much fun, Jan. Get it?
And that is my future 4K Blu-ray wishlist. Are we actually going to get any of these? If I had to pick a single movie from this list that is most likely to actually get a 4K disc, I would say it's Memento. We've seen more obscure films on 4K before, so I still firmly believe that within the realm of physical media, anything is possible. Now, I want to hear from you guys. What are some films that aren't on 4K yet that you would love to see get the treatment? Let me know in the comments below. Till next time guys, look after yourselves, and as always, I'll see you all in the next video.